Charlotte Temple, written by Susanna Rowson and published in 1791, is a sentimental and moral novel that tells the tragic story of a young woman seduced, abandoned, and ultimately destroyed by circumstances and the weaknesses of others. Set between England and colonial America, the novel is one of the first works of American literature to become a true bestseller, profoundly influencing subsequent sentimental narratives. The protagonist, Charlotte Temple, is a 16 or 17-year-old English girl, innocent, well-educated, and very beautiful. She lives in a girls' school, where she catches the eye of John Montraville, a young English officer about to depart for America with the army. Montraville, although genuinely attracted to Charlotte, is immature and easily influenced. Beside him is Belcour, a corrupt and manipulative friend, who urges him to seduce the young woman for mere amusement. Charlotte, despite her initial doubts and hesitations, is persuaded to elope with Montraville, encouraged by her teacher Mademoiselle Larue, an ambiguous figure with personal interests and little moral scruple. This escape marks the beginning of her downfall. Charlotte leaves her family, unaware of the disastrous consequences of her actions, and embarks for America, where she begins a new isolated life, completely dependent on Montraville. Once they arrive, the situation quickly deteriorates. Montraville begins to neglect her, overwhelmed by his duties and influenced by guilt and Belcour's persuasion. Charlotte finds herself alone, without friends, without money, and with a child on the way. She becomes a victim of a gradual but irreversible abandonment. The only person who could have helped her, Montraville, distances himself from her when Belcour convinces him that Charlotte has betrayed him. Confined to a miserable boarding house and ill, Charlotte gives birth to a baby girl and dies shortly after, worn down by physical suffering, poverty, and emotional pain. In a final act of remorse, Montraville tries to rescue her, but he arrives too late. The scene of her death is intensely melodramatic and aims to evoke compassion in the reader. In the end, Charlotte is buried with respect, and her daughter is welcomed and lovingly raised by trusted friends. The novel addresses universal themes, such as the fragility of innocence, male seduction, moral responsibility, and the vulnerability of women in the patriarchal society of the 18th century. It is a fierce critique of the lack of social protection for young women, but also a moral warning. Charlotte Temple is more than just a tragic love story. It is a reflection on the female condition, on choices that change destiny, and on the moral responsibilities, not only of individuals, but of society as a whole. The novel moved an entire generation of readers and remains, even today, a valuable testament to the literary sensibility of the 18th century.